terrorists and a plan to defeat them. That doesn't make Bob Inglis happy. He's the former Republican congressman and executive director of Republican Org, who's very concerned about climate change and says he's got a pretty smart solution. Bob, welcome. Thank you for being here. Look, you're a Republican who has actually done an about-face and really believes with climate change. But should we have waited to have this climate meeting in Paris to let the ISIS situation at least filter through first?
Well, I suppose if you plan a big international conference, it's hard to delay it. It's also important not to give in to the terrorists, don't you think? In other words, tell them that life is going to go on. You're not going to disturb us. Markets continue. Meetings continue. We're going to keep on going. And, of course, ISIS is an immediate threat that we must deal with. But hopefully we can focus on longer-term threats as well.
Well, if we can't do two things at once, we're not a very smart developed country, so I believe we can. Right. But the problem is that the actual issue, which you, even as a Republican, believe is serious about climate change. You've been to Antarctica twice. It's unfortunate, at least for people who believe that it's being eclipsed. But let's get to how you feel we could actually, in the short term, fix or mediate the situation.
Right. Well, of course, what's important about Paris is that people are coming together and forming some will to do something. The question then is, what is the way to go forward? And that's where I think in our country, the political right has usually been the most helpful party, the people offering a way that actually works. And so what we have to do, especially as conservatives, is show there's a free enterprise way to fix climate change.
You've been to Antarctica, as I mentioned, twice. What did you learn there? What did you see there that made you think we need to go with pricing carbon?
Well, the evidence in the ice core drillings basically shows stability followed by an uptick in CO2 coinciding with the Industrial Revolution. Just makes sense that we're pulling up fossil fuels, we're burning them, we're changing the chemistry of the air. The physics of light are such that light enters, radiant heat doesn't all escape. We get warmer. And then there are consequences, real human consequences. But the important thing, Liz, is out of Paris, what we're getting is an awful lot of scary stuff. Mm-hmm. Not just the ISIS, but also, obviously, that's enormously scary and immediately scary. We're getting this longer-term scare, too. But it's very important, especially in a business show, to talk about the incredible opportunities available to us.
Well, exactly. Don't you think that there is
that this moment, we can really make a difference in the world and make a lot of money, too.
Attack it like a business issue. And therefore, when you start to get, as you mentioned, the free enterprise world out there, it could be wonderful. But you have said carbon taxing is a, quote, fabulous opportunity. Former Secretary of State George Shultz under President Reagan is for it. He has said he thinks that it's like an insurance policy against risk. But some Republicans, in fact, a lot of them just say no to anything the EPA suggests.
Right, and of course, I can understand it's a knee-jerk reaction, visceral kind of response, and it feels good. But then because it is a bigger government kind of thing that we're facing with the EPA, but it's very important for us on the right to offer the solution that actually works, that matches their sentiment with a solution. And the solution clearly is a way of pricing in all of the cost associated with burning of fossil fuels, not in an artificial way, but just in a true cost way. Get rid of all the subsidies for all the fuels, attach all the cost, and then watch the free enterprise system deliver innovation faster than government mandates could ever imagine.
Mm-hmm. And as a devout Christian, you have said, got to take care of the planet. Congressman Bob Inglis, thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be with you, Liz. Thanks.
Appreciate it. The closing bell, we're about 52 minutes